Hello, Facebook fans and YouTube fans of DX Engineering. It's Friday afternoon here in the Eastern time zone of the USA. It's time for the weekend special. And a little reminder that the clocks do move here in the United States this weekend. We go 1 hour ahead, and therefore this show, which is normally at 2100 Zulu, will be 2000 Zulu. And there will be an adjustment to the GMT time, but no adjustments to the GMT clocks. It's just, and we will update the On All Bands events calendar to reflect the new UTC times. And so today we're going to jump right in, and I want to talk a little bit about the optimized wideband array and some antenna discussion. And we're going to discuss building some antennas. So let me pull up. There we go. And, slideshow. Run through this, and we're going to get down to. Okay, so this is a photo of a 10-meter antenna. This is a 10-meter Yagi. And it is 8 elements on a 48-foot boom, and the boom is 3 inches in diameter, and this is mounted on top of what we call the 10-meter tower here at K3LR. And notice the rear of the antenna is on the left, the top of the slide. That's the reflector. That's the longest element, and then the shortest element is the last director, which is on the other end of the boom. And so it goes reflector, driven element, then a series of 6 directors. And notice how close that first director is to the driven element. It's very close. And what that is about is that that is the OWA design. And what does that do? The OWA design, it takes the first director and puts it very close to the driven element, and what that causes is the feed point impedance to be 50 ohms and the SWR to stay very flat across the band. For instance, on 10 meters, the SWR is less than 1.25 to 1 from 28 to 29 megahertz. So you're covering a full megahertz or 1000 kilohertz of spectrum with this antenna. The SWR stays very low, and it's a very easy feed system. And when it's easy like that, it is also highly reliable. And this is the feed point showing the insulated plate made out of garolite. And so one antenna will create about 14 dB of gain, and that's 14 dB over a dipole. So if you were to listen to a station on a dipole at the same height as this Yagi, it would be 14 dB stronger. So in that's due to the fact that we have focused the electromagnetic energy in a particular, right off the front of the Yagi. Now, to get more gain than that, if you take and you stack 2 of these antennas, so if you took the top 2 and they're separated by about 33 feet, you would get 3 dB more. So that gets you up to 17 dB, as long as the antennas are aimed in the exact same direction. And then if you wanted 3 dB more than that, you need to double the number of, booms again, and that gets you to the 4, and that gets you to 20 dB, which is a lot of gain. And so that would be 20 dB over a dipole. And each time you combine the antennas, you have to deal with a different impedance. For instance, when you combine 2 antennas, basically you're feeding them in parallel. That's 25 ohms there. So using a section of RG83, I can step that's 35 ohm coax, I can step that 25 right up to 50 ohms. When 3 of them are together, it's about 16 ohms. And then when all 4 are together, that's 12.5 ohms. But by using quarter wave sections of coax, And that is done in the center of the array. You see there's a box there on the side of the tower, and that has relays in it and allows 10 different combinations of antennas to be selected. And notice that the antennas that are down the tower are on ring rotators, which allow them to be independently moved to any azimuth, 360 degrees around the tower. And so when making these elements, it's very important that you clean the inside and the outside of the elements to get all the aluminum oxide removed before you put them together. That's very, very important to create a very low resistance connection. And we use SS30. This is made by JetLube. It's available at DX Engineering. And SS30 is this antioxidant that goes on the clean aluminum and before the aluminum is put together. And so you can see here are a number of elements that have been cleaned, and now they've got the SS30 on it. And then we use cross pins. These are stainless steel nuts. Actually, we use nylock nuts so that they have a very hard time backing off. And I also use external tooth lock washers. But this is on a 40-meter Moxon element, and you can see the various diameters of tubing and the cross pins that actually hold the tubing together. These are very high reliable ways of putting aluminum tubing together. These are the centers of, I think, this is on 15 meters, and this is Director 4 that's being prepared for the 4 15-meter Yagis. And this is the feed point. We talked about that OWA feed point, and it's fed just like a dipole. And you can see here the two studs, again, using the antioxidant in there, and then the fiberglass insulator. That's a 1-inch gap. And so this is preparing the feed points of the OWA. And another shot of OWA feed points. This is on 15 meters. And so here is a little bit about this. This is a 2-element Moxon on 40 meters. You may recall last summer, back in April, we actually did a lot of Facebook work with the 2-element Moxon for 40 meters. The element plates, you can see here's where the T elements are going to go, right here. And of course, here's the coax. And here is a photo of the bead choke. This is 40 number 31 ferrite beads over the RG213 DX Engineering coax. And then it goes right up to the feed point connector. And here you see the feed point connector. This is also a DX Engineering product. And here's the RG213 coax using vapor wrap and 3 layers of 88 tape. And then color code so that the red is on the right-hand side. So if you're looking on the tower, if you're standing on the tower at K3LR, all of the center conductors to the coax are on the right-hand side. And this is the shield. It's fed just like a dipole. And then that choke keeps the feed line shield from becoming part of the antenna. And it's just, we just want it to be a feed line. Another view, you can see we also take red tape to make sure that we always know where the center conductor is. That's very important for stacking. Otherwise, you would have them out of phase, and we don't want that unintentionally. And just a little bit more about, you can see here, this is the boom splice. This is made out of 24-foot sections of 3-inch outside diameter tubing. And so this is a large 3/8 bolt for the boom splice, another 3/8 bolt over here. The Garolite insulator for the element. And then this is the overhead guide truss. This is 2-inch tubing and the DX Engineering plate. And here are elements lined up on just being held off the ground a little bit getting ready for construction. So I wanted to just give you some things about Yagi construction today, because the weather is so good here that we're going to be outside building antennas tomorrow. That's what that's what the weekend special for me is. So let's see what we've got here in the chat room. And we've got November Lima 7 Delta and Whiskey Juliet 3 United. And Greg NC7B says, I received my latest order of coax, brackets, and cable from DXE, and Greg's going to be working on his next antenna project. And Greg, please make sure you tell us what that is, because that is, we like to keep track of what you're doing out there in Arizona. And we have Sugar 52 X-Ray from Slovenia, and Papa Alpha 5 Fox November, and Kilo Lima 7 Kilo Yankee. Now, that's Kevin, and also Kilo Lima 4 Sugar X-Ray is on. Nice to see you, Kevin. Actually, W3YQ, I'm going to see him this weekend, so that'll be fun. And Brian says, great presentation, Tim. Are you using TIC ring rotors? I've been looking for used rotors for my remote station. Yes, Brian, the majority of the ring rotors here are TIC. I also use K0XG. And MI5 Juliet Yankee Kilo says, I may owe to have room for a 40-meter Moxon. That is a great antenna. Papa Yankee 2 Bravo Norway from Brazil. And Chuck, KA3 Delta Fox Kilo, very interesting topic. And Kilo 7 Kilo X-Ray says, great presentation, Tim. Are you using the TIC rings? I've been looking at these. Okay. Whiskey Julia 3 United and Kilo 4 Hotel Uniform Kilo. And from Quebec, it's Victor Echo 2 Sierra Yankee Yankee. And Dr. John, Kilo Bravo 3 Hotel. Nice to see you on. And yes, finally antenna season. Victor Echo 2 Charlie Sierra Mike. And let's see, Richmond says, is there a traveling bag for the antenna elements to take on a plane back to Liberia? Well, you'd need a pretty big bag. Most of these elements are 6 or 8 feet long. Chris, November 6 Whiskey Mike, said, great job on your single banders last weekend. Yep, we had 2 operators here, N2NC, used the K3LR call sign on 20 meters and worked 1,818 QSOs and I believe 117 countries. And then Phil, K3UA, used his own call on 40 meters from here and had 1,000 some odd QSOs and did very well as well. And Pierre, Victor Echo 2, India Alpha Tango says, nice shack in the background. Yeah, this is not a green screen. This is the real deal. An India Uniform 5 Fox Golf Radio. And November 4 Bravo Charlie Delta. Mark says, those stacked Yagis at K3LR create their own propagation. Absolutely amazing. Mark has operated from here several times, and always good to have you on, Mark. And wishing you the best for the Huntsville Hamfest this summer. And Whiskey Radio 5 Golf in Arizona. Nice to see you, Jerry. And let's see, Kilo Bravo 4 Lima Oscar Alpha from the outskirts of Fort Bragg, North Carolina. Always learning something new. And Whiskey 7 Juliet Echo Tango and Germany 6 Alpha Delta. Addie, I hope to see you in the WPX. And Alpha Bravo 1 Golf Sierra. We're going to be doing a lot of filming of antenna projects around here this summer. I've got some new ones, new things going, some receive verticals and all sorts of things. And of course, all this stuff is material that you can get at DX Engineering. And if you have any questions, you can always call us. It might be even easier to email us. It's dxengineering@dxengineering.com. And don't forget to check out On All Bands, our blog. Just about every day we're adding material. We have some great blog writers like KX9X and N0AX and K8ZT, K8MSH. Lots of great information is on allbands.com. So make sure you check that out. And, you know, start thinking about what you want to do this summer for your antenna situation. and what improvements you might want to make, and let us help you. That's what we're here for. And of course, Travis says, W3TMB, I need more land so I can have more antennas. That's a good way to put it. You never have too many antennas unless they interact. My friend Frank W3LPL says, got to have a lot of them, but if you have too many of them on top of each other, they can interact and actually hurt, the objective. So there you go. We'll be on for Tuesday with Tuesdays with Tim and Jeff, and of course Thursday coming up, the Manufacturers Showcase, where we interview the manufacturers, the DX Engineering cells. Until next Tuesday, 73, have a great weekend, and I hope to hear you on the air.